Hi everyone, I'm Nick from How to Agender. Who are you? This will be the video about how to store and organize your shoes. I'm doing this because first of all I promised it in my shoe collection video, which you can see here. Second of all, people always ask me two questions. When I talk about shoes, they ask me, well, how many pairs do you own? Which the answer is in that video. And second of all, where the hell do you put all of those shoes? Like, how do you store them? How do you organize them? And that is what I'm gonna explain in this video, because I've actually noticed that in my room I have multiple ways of storing shoes. So I was like, well, maybe this is interesting for people that are struggling with this. I'm still struggling with it, but that's mostly because of the amount of shoes and not because of the methods. So yeah, let's just dive into the video. Alright, so the first and most obvious way to store your shoes is a shoebox, of course. Now, a lot of shoes come with a shoebox, some don't, but I have some tips for that after this. This pair of shoes is from Anne de Meulemeester. I said it very weirdly, like half English, half Belgian. So this is a beautiful box. You open it up. There were even some dust bags included, so I'm definitely going to keep those as well because that's great to travel with your shoes. There's some tissue paper in there. And then here we have the shoes. I mean, it's not a shoe unboxing right now, but I just want to show you that it's good to also keep the tissue paper inside of the shoe, especially if it's like a more delicate material, or if it's a pump, you really want to make sure that the shoe keeps its shape while it's inside of the box. This is a gorgeous mule. I'm so sorry, it's not off topic, but I mean, it's not really about these shoes currently. I just want to say, keep the tissue paper if you can. Sometimes there's a ridiculous amount of tissue paper inside of a shoe. But if you can, try and keep it around the toe area, and if it's a boot, try and keep it in the shaft of the boot, just so you know the shoe keeps its shape. Now, a shoebox is great if you do not own hundreds of pairs of shoes, because it does take up quite some space. And sometimes it can get a little confusing if a lot of the boxes are the same shape or color. So what I would suggest is that if you own a lot of shoes, that you print out a picture of the shoes and you put it on the outside of the box. Honestly, I haven't done it for all of my shoe boxes, and my printer is shit as well. So I'm trying to figure out a way how to do it best, also because I would like to just be able to remove the picture as well if I get rid of the shoebox, or if I store another pair in this box. Because the thing is, a lot of shoes don't come with a shoebox nowadays. When you buy shoes secondhand, or when they are from H&M, for example, they don't come with a shoebox. So my tip would be, if you declutter shoes that do have a box, try and keep the box and just get rid of the shoes. Related to that, I have quite a lot of these massive Jeffrey Campbell shoe boxes. Most of these shoes are on display, so all of the boxes are empty. So what I did, because these are so big, I can actually fit 2 pairs of shoes in one box. 2 pairs of pumps, of course, not boots, but 2 pairs of pumps or flats I can store in these boxes. So I think that is great, and maybe would be a tip as well if you happen to have huge boxes and you don't know what to do with them. Now, the second way of storing shoes is on a shoe rack. Here in my house, I have 2 shoe racks that are a little bit different. The first one I got at Lidl. I will link it down below because it's still available and I think it's brilliant. This is like a metal rack that has 2 shelves, and the 2 shelves consist of 2 metal bars. It's difficult to explain, but basically there are 2 bars. The first one you always keep at the lowest level, but the second one you can decide whether you want to keep it at the same level as the first one, or whether you want to put it higher than the first one, so you are able to store heels on top of that shelf. I thought it was really handy when I was in Antwerp, because it was a way for me to store both my heels and my sneakers or flats in the same place and in the same format, and not have like 50 shoe boxes. I really love that rack. It's only 8 euros. I have a backup of it if I need one more, which I always need more shoe storage, honestly. This one contains 10 pairs of shoes, and maybe you only own 10 pairs, and that would be the best way for you to store it. Downside is, compared to a shoe box, that it can get dusty. For me, I've stored it underneath my bed, which is a place that gets dusty quicker than some other places. So yeah, I have to dust off my shoes quite quite a lot, and that could be a downside, but for me it's not. But it could be for you. Maybe you would prefer to store it in shoe boxes. The second shoe rack in this house is actually one from IKEA, I think. I will try and look it up and link it down below if I can. This one also consists of, I believe, 2 shelves made out of bars, but those you cannot change the height of. So those are only for flats, but you do have like a wooden shelf on top where you can decide what you want to put on top of that shelf. So in my case, I've put shoe boxes on top and then shoes on the shelves below, but you can also decide to store something completely different on top of the shelf. Personally, I think that's the great middle way between keeping some shoes in boxes and keeping some on the shelf on display. Then the third option of organizing or storing your shoes is just display them. I own the Billy bookcases by IKEA. You can see that in my room tour, which gives you a more 360-degree view of my room. I have 3 Billy bookcases, and then I have 1 corner piece, so it's like 1 closet. 2 of those bookcases have a door in the front of the case, so the door is actually half glass and half wood, so half see-through and half is not. And I have 1 bookcase that is completely open. So what I did is, for one of the closed ones, shoes are everywhere, like both in the glass part of the door and in the wooden part. On the other closed door closet, the glass part that is filled with shoes and the bottom part that's filled with magazines. In the other closet, the one that is open, I have like a quarter filled with shoes, the 2 top shelves, and then the rest is lipsticks, magazines, books, things like that, more lifestyle items. What I think is genius about that way of organizing is that I can constantly change it. Like if I'm like, I want to see this pair now, or I wear this pair more, I can just take it out of the boxes and put it on display. You can change it up constantly depending on the season or your mood or the pairs that you like at the moment. I think that's brilliant, and you cannot do that with a shoe box. You can do that with a shoe rack, but I think the closet system is nice. I also really like the fact that a few closets have doors, so I can keep my shoes dust free while still putting them on display because the door is glass, you can see through it. But again, if the closet is open, the downside is that it can get dusty, just like the shoe rack. But as I've said in the beginning of the video, in my room, the 3 ways of storing shoes are all there, so you don't have to display all of your shoes, you don't have to put them all in boxes, you can just mix and match and really make it as easy for you as it can be. I genuinely hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you've learned something from it. Maybe it gives you a little insight on how you want to organize or store your shoes. Let me know how you do it. How is your shoe collection doing? How is it on display? I would love to know that because I like to see other people's shoes and ways of storing. So yeah, let me know if you thought this video was interesting. I genuinely hope you did. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you're not already, and if you don't want to miss any content on shoes, because I bought a few pairs lately, and I'm still planning on making videos about them because I really want to show them to you. So yeah, make sure to be subscribed if you don't want to miss any content in the future, and I will see you on the next one.